Family. How you doing, family? Welcome to an episode they still applauding. My goodness, they still applauding. All right, let me shut that down. Let me shut that down. But they still applauding. For goodness sake, they still applauding. All right. My applause. I paid for my applause. That's right. I pay them $1 each. First of all, family, thank you very much for tuning in to King Simon Presents Only Quality People on a Wednesday. We're broadcasting not only on YouTube at King Simon Presents, we're also broadcasting on Instagram at King Simon Presents. Also, we're broadcasting on Numerovation News and Views on that channel also. So I'm proud that I'm here. This is going to be a very special show. And let the words of my mouth and the meditation of my heart be acceptable in thy sight. Talking about the divine creative force of the universe and all my ancestors that surround me and you. And my job here on this planet is to make myself and my ancestors proud of the work that I've done over years. No matter what happens, what is going on in the world, I try to keep it as positive and productive as possible. All right. Today's show, we're going to have our great elder coming up at the 9 o'clock hour in approximately 8 minutes. And Professor James Hall Smalls is going to talk about misunderstandings and healing through it spiritually and physically. It's totally different than what everybody else is thinking, but he will be open for question and answers after I do my questioning, of course. And please, family, right now, I want all of you, it takes nothing to do this. Please like, subscribe, share with those other people out there to build the algorithms and to tell them to click the bell to be notified. Very important. And also, I'd like to express to all of you out there that this is a troll-free zone. All trolls will be placed in the block party. We respect our guests here. All right. You see what I wrote here? This is a troll-free zone. All trolls will be placed in the block party. And we respect our guests on this particular channel. All right. Just want to make sure y'all clear on that. And remember, donate to the channel through Super Chat, Super Sticker, Cash App, of course, PayPal. And of course, I'll be showing and putting Baba James Small's Cash App and PayPal in the chat also, so people can support our elder, his website, everything. We'll be showing all of that. Let me put that in the chat right now. Make sure people get it right now in the chat. Big up to my brother B. Dell in the building. Big up to all of you that are jumping on right now. Big up to DJ Sweetness in the building. Big up to Father Make Now, I guess best, and Divine, of course. Big up to Divine in the building. Big up to Holly Hemmett in the building. Thank you, Holly, for your previous donations that I didn't probably get to shout you out. I just want to make sure you know that I really respect and honor whatever you're doing, and thank you for contributing to the channel, of course, in any way you can. Everybody can do so. It keeps the lights on, like Brother Panic used to say, and keeps me going and keeps us going and keeps us bringing quality people to the channel. You know, I don't deal with the drama, so I leave the drama for other people's mama. Leave the drama for other people's mama. I ain't got no time for it. All right. So before I bring on the guest in 5 minutes, we got 55 minutes after the hour, 5 minutes before the top of the hour. Let me let you know what's coming up before we go on with the show and bring on our guest. If you don't mind, this is what we do here, just to let y'all know. Of course, Professor James Small. Well, no, hold on. On the 6th of December, we will be saluting our dear brother at the Caribbean Cultural Center of African Diaspora Institute at 120 East 125th Street at 1 p.m. December the 6th, Baba Heru salute is happening this Saturday, and also in Brooklyn at Mega Evers on Sunday, starting at 1 o'clock. Also, Mega Evers is located at 1650 Bedford Avenue in Brooklyn. Make sure y'all come on out. It's going to be at the Founders Auditorium for those 2 days. And then on the 13th, we have our great elder that's coming in. It's $35. The $30 tickets, we are finished with that. December 1st is now $35 before the actual date on December 13th, and then it's $40 at the door. Tickets are available through Linktr.ee /King Simon the Numerovator. That's Linktr.ee /King Simon the Numerovator. And just want to remind everybody who wants to help out Jamaica and you want to go to a big concert that is raising $1 million for Jamaica. Jamaica Strong, my good friends from Jammin's Promotion and also Irie FM is actually producing this. I used to be an MC for all these shows back in the day, and I'm so happy. My friend Shaggy, him and I went to Erasmus back in the day. So Shaggy, Sean Paul, I used to work with his manager back in the day, Kess, Marcia Griffith, Chronics, Kamani Marley, Gramps Morgan, so many people is going to be at this event at the UBS Arena, 2400 Hempstead Turnpike, Elmont, New York. Go to Ticketmasters if you want to support. $99 tickets, I think, is already sold out. I think it's $125 now and up. So if you want to support this effort, this benefit concert for Jamaica, Jamaica is going to need help. Believe that. And all the other Caribbean islands are going to be helped, but this particular one is for Jamaica on December the 12th. And then, of course, we'll be at Nicholas, Brooklyn with Sister Felicia will be opening, Joshua Sarah will be opening, and Sister Kafunya will be doing the sound bowl healing to heal the world. And also on the 20th, I will be with Ascendant Infinite Goddess on her online class happening, Catapult Your Energy into 2026. And it's going to happen from 12 o'clock to 4:30 p.m. If you want your tickets for that online presentation, please go to her website at ascendantinfinitegoddess.com. That's ascendantinfinitegoddess.com. And then Brooklyn, I will be with Queen of Four and Paris Williams on December the 21st at the Woman and Man Heal Thyself Eye Opener Productions with Brother Shabazz. Big up to Brother Shabazz. Spoke to him the other day. And vendors, if you want to vend, you want to get tickets, remember, it's early bird tickets. I think it's $30, $25 in advance and $30 at the door. That's $25 in advance, $30 at the door. You can scan that QR code or you can call Brother Shabazz at 347-683-8122. That's 683-8122. Yes, so big up to our brother Shabazz. I'll be shouting out the other sponsors for my program later on, so keep it locked right here. Don't touch that dial. And in the next minute, we're going to bring on an elder, and we're going to respect the elder. But first and foremost, before we bring him on, I want to thank all of you beautiful people from the ages of 13. Matter of fact, the ages of 18 years to 65 years of age are watching me on this channel. So big up to y'all. Big up to all the women and men that watch, at least 72% men and 27% women. I need to balance that out, of course. So I'm going to start doing that, of course. Big up to everybody watching me in the United States, the United Kingdom, Canada, South Africa, and Australia. Big up to all of y'all that are tuning in. I just wanted to shout y'all out because I'm looking at my analytics and I've gone up. The numbers are going up slowly but surely, but I love that. And I got to send some respect to all of you out there that are showing me love in all the different regions of the world, man. People are watching us and they're watching what we are doing in this hemisphere. So we got to show respect. We got to show respect to each other. So without any further ado, let me tell y'all something before I bring him on. This elder doesn't have to prove anything to me. He has proven himself from the time I've known him from the late 80s, watching him on different stages, especially at the UAM that was hosted by brother attorney at war, Alton Maddox, and his beautiful wife, Lyola Maddox. This brother doesn't have nothing to prove to me. He's been a soldier for 65, nearly 70 years, older than myself, older than most of you out there. This man has been a soldier. So again, this ain't going to be that type of program. Yes, there's been misunderstandings, but I'm talking about misunderstandings and healing through it spiritually and physically as we promote the event that he's going to speak on, Global Spiritual Work, and how to use it correctly on December the 13th. So without any further ado, I want to bring up for you, my dear brother and Baba and elder in this movement, the one, the only Professor James Small. Let's give a round of applause. Family. Brother Smalls, how are you, sir?
I'm doing very well, brother. How you doing?
I'm doing wonderful. Let me turn off my applause button. Like I say, I pay these applause. I pay for these applause.
Yeah.
How you been, brother? It's good to see you out here and about, man. Looking good as usual. How you feeling, brother?
No, I'm good. I was just looking at a picture of my. Let me see if I can show you that.
Go ahead, show it. Can you show it? You jumped it. Yeah, the page jumped. As soon as you put your finger on it, jumped off.
Oh, okay. Anyway, it was just first time I seen a photograph of him alone. That's my spiritual godfather, Omotushu.
Omotushu, big up to Omotushu.
He's ancestors now, but he taught me the Yoruba religion.
Oh, wow.
Brother from Nigeria. He was once the minister of culture. And about 30 years ago, we created a group called the Olokun Foundation.
Yes.
And we were the first one to really launch an effort against European museums and libraries and Americans to get our artifacts back home.
Wow.
And so I'm still in charge of the Olokun project worldwide. Wow. I don't talk about that much except for those who are in the circle of that.
You know, Professor Smalls and family, all that you see here, I pinned it to the top. Of course, his Cash App is $ Dr. James Smalls. His PayPal email is csmall1926@AOL. Please use friends and family if you're going to donate through PayPal. Also, he's on Facebook. That's Professor James Smalls African World, and also his website is professorjamessmalls.com.
Now, on the Cash App, you can put the 1926 at the end of that too.
Oh, 1926. Okay,
yeah.
Let me.
Tell me to put numbers behind my names. There's so many James Small out here. People keep mixing them up. I think they're mixing them up on this issue that's going on out in the world. They got the wrong James Small.
So it's 19 what?
Yeah, 1926.
Okay, you put the year you're born, huh?
Yeah.
Okay, 1920. That's smart. 1926.
Yeah, James Small, 1926.
I got it. Okay, I'll change that right now. So family, disregard that particular Cash App. Let's go for this Cash App. Let me make sure I got it in the chat. All right, just want to make sure. Hold on one second. I got to pin it on the chat. Okay, just want to make sure so y'all can support the right one. All right, family, please, let's show our elders some respect. Send them some love right now if you got to. If you can't, I'm going to change it in the chat right now. Here it goes. And I'm going to pin it to the top of the chat so we can have it right now. Okay, boom. All right, good. And I'm going to delete that particular one right now, that one that I had up before. Professor James Smalls, we're here. I'm so honored to be amongst you and have been amongst the elders since I was younger. I got to shake the hands of John Henry Clark, Dr. John Henry Clark. I've got to hang out and shake the hands of Dr. Ben. I've got to see people like Ivan Van Sertima, Barashango, and of course, Patricia Newton and Frances Cresswell, and sat with her and gave her my book back in the day. All you have, and Dr. Khalid, of course, I was in the Nation of Islam and all of that. You know, Dr. Khalid, Mr. Farrakhan, Ava Muhammad. I've sat with them people and done security and body.
You got a good pedigree, brother.
And look, I'm willing to live. I was willing to kill or die for them. So I know how it is. Dr. Dick Gregory, Baba Dick Gregory, did security for them and all that. You know, that's why I said earlier, you don't have nothing to prove to me after 65, damn near 70 years of doing this, man. I'm so proud to even know you, to even bow down to you and bow respectfully as one of my elders, man. And, you know, there's a lot of big up to Lioness Crown in the building. What's up, Lioness Crown? She in the building showing her some love. Big up to our sister, man. Lioness is here. Big up to her. I wanted her to co-host with me, but she said, "Nah, I'll just watch." Big up to her. So, Professor, we're in a very emotional time that spirituality has taken another route to the point that it's oversaturating, of course, the social media bites and clips of what spirituality is. When I know there's people like you that had to go through initiation. There's people like me that, if you didn't know certain things back in the 5%, you got a beat down. You know what I'm saying? And I know Clarence 13X, aka from back in the day.
I was with Brother Clarence the night he was assassinated, brother.
Exactly.
Yeah, all these people doing talk, and I hear some people who was trying to behaving inappropriately, call themselves gods and earth.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. And you know, it's so important that we not only honor and respect the soldiers that did it their way back in those days, but we also honor and respect the young people that are doing it, because we know even in the enemy's camp, their names and faces have changed, and the game is still the same for them.
Right.
So you know what I'm talking about. You know what it is. So even in spirituality, go ahead.
There's some fundamental rules of nature.
Yes, sir.
You don't get to step 5 unless you come to 1, 2, 3, and 4.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
And all of reality, 1, 2, 3, and 4 is the ancestors of step 5. If you get to step 5 and deny 1, 2, 3, and 4, you don't have a memory or a mind to project into step 6. So we need to understand there are some rules on how the universe works and how the mind works, whether you denied it or not. And we know we've been in a war where our consciousness has been heavily damaged. I don't think spirituality is gone awry. That's why I really wanted to come in. You know, in America, we have maybe, the enemy says 45 million African people. We probably got something close to 59, 60 million. I usually say 60 million because they tell you we've never done a complete, what do they call, census on our community, on the Black community. They'll admit to missing 20% plus, and then they want to give us a number. In the Caribbean, we've got another close to 50, 60 million. Okay. And when we include Central South America, we're talking about another almost 500 million African peoples.
Yeah.
When we talk about the continent, we talk about 1.7 billion people who don't hear 90% of the crap that me and you are concerning ourselves with on the internet. Okay. Do you understand my reality? That's where I live.
Exactly.
I do not live in this microscopic reality of social media. I use social media as a tool to teach.
Yes, sir.
Those who might want to learn. And I don't even blame those who don't want to learn. It just tell me if you don't want to learn, then the energy has damaged you, because the fundamental law of nature is about learning, growing, and changing.
Yes.
And so if you're not doing that, something has hurt you.
Yes.
And if you're going in the opposite direction, something has really injured you. Yeah. And so our job is, those of us who say we're teachers, those of us who say we are spiritual instructors, is to find out what the injury is,
right,
and try to attend to the healing process. Okay.
But I'll stay right there, because there is an injury when someone decides to become an agent for the government. Why would Gene Roberts become an agent to get off Malcolm X? Why would somebody else become an agent to try to take out the Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad, or become an agent? What is that spiritual injury? What is that pain that allows, or that goes into someone that want to do something like that against their own people?
Well, it comes down to self-hate and ignorance. If you're holding diamonds in your hands and somebody tells you they're mere rocks,
yes, sir,
and you begin to believe that your diamonds is rocks, and he said, I'll take them rocks from you, and you give it to him because you don't know what you're holding in your hands is diamonds.
Right.
There's no greater people. The people who call themselves African Americans, foundational Black Americans, ADOS, Negroes, Black Americans, they have nothing to be ashamed of. We don't have to take nobody else's identity.
That's right.
Our ancestors were some of the baddest MFs that ever walked this world.
That's right.
We had to grow up in the white man's house, not in his field. He was the overwhelming majority where we lived for 500 years. Right. And we kicked his ass. All right. To the point that he couldn't even build a nation. We built the nation, and he has to lie to himself every day that he built, knowing we built it. Right?
Exactly.
You know, that's the sickness. But then that sickness, because it has brute force and power, have made us begin to lie to ourselves or blind us from the work that our ancestors have done, to the point we are ashamed of our ancestors. How you gonna be ashamed of your mama? How you gonna be ashamed of your daddy? How you gonna be ashamed of your granddaddy? I was just looking the other, and I'm writing a piece. I'm doing a PowerPoint on what is the meaning of family. What is the meaning? And I want people to hear this rhythm right here. What is the meaning first of the individual God being? Because in Africa, we didn't call ourselves human being. In Africa, we didn't call ourselves by name. We didn't use names like Africa in ancient days. You were a God being. If you look at every language in Africa, the suffix and the prefix for the words that meant people, person, place, or thing was all the suffix and the prefix was what that language group used for God. Right. So they saw themselves as God beings, as God men, God women. They saw themselves as a replica of the divine and a replica of the universe that had to be studied, learned, and implemented. So you can be the replica and not know you're the replica, and you're just deaf, blind, and dumb. Right. But when you get the wisdom, when you get the knowledge, when you get to understand, you implement the fact that you are the divine having a human experience. Right. That's the culture of our ancestors. All right. That's what has been interrupted through brute force, murder, mayhem, rape, and fear. Okay. To the point that we get into the self-hating process. If you hate your mama, you will hate yourself. If you hate yourself, you will hate your brother and sister. If you hate your brother and sister, you will do harm to them for creature comfort aspirations, whatever that is. Right. And so we need to study, what is a family? What is an extended family? Right? What is a clan? Right? What is a tribe? What is an ethnic nation? And what is a race? And you can be all of those things at one time. Understand? Because the individual, the family, the extended family, the clan, the tribe, the ethnic nation are all aspects of a race. They all have their own peculiarity and variations depending on their world experience as any group, be it the small group of the nuclear family or the big group of the tribe. And so you all have your experience on the planet, and it is impacted how you do things. And the things you do is what you call culture. Culture is all the things that the people do, right? And then you try to, within the culture and your language system, that becomes your educational system for your next generation, for intergeneration transmission of the wisdom of the people. And so the fight that we have been carrying on, and this fight that's going on now, it is not new. The only difference in the fight now that when me and you were in the Muslim movement trying to find our way, and you and I both worked with Brother Khalid. You know, me and Khalid was together the weekend before he lost his life. Yeah, I was with Khalid when he talked about lifting the fruct of the Pope. We were together. And I told him, leave that white boy out there. Don't. He told me, no, brother, bring this up. When he got shot in L.A., I got the call. I was in L.A. the next day. Yes. All right. Sleeping on the floor of the brother's house out in Dallas while we were protecting him, me and Malik Zulu. Yes. And he sneaked right by us in the middle of the night with a 9mm, went out and got grocery. I woke up to smelling food cooking. He's cooking for us. We're supposed to be protecting him. That's the first falling out me and him had ever had. Like, you know, lost your mind. But people don't understand. We were just doing, you and I. That's how I met Sonetta. Yes. When I was teaching the class for college for the new Black Panther Party. The night they chose in Dallas to come up with the name, because that wasn't Colin's idea. I forgot the other brother. He's from Texas. It was his concept, and he had brought it into being. And we was at the home of a sister whose son had been killed by some white boys he was hanging with on a pickup truck, and they tied him up and dragged him behind this truck. We were at her home trying to deal with that situation out in Texas. when that's when you saw Collar with the rifle.
Yeah.
Remember that picture on the New York Post?
Yes, I see.
I ain't taking no picture. So we were just trying to do. We weren't looking for recognition. Social media hadn't come into play yet. We were just trying to do what we could do for the community.
That's right. That's right.
Whatever community we found ourselves in, LA, Dallas, Houston, Chicago, Detroit, Lauderdale, New York, Newark, marching in the street. If Mumia died, there'll be fire in the sky. You remember the chants?
Yes, yes.
And we did some good. I mean, we got some changes down. We didn't get all the brothers out. We lost Al Jamil. We never brought him home.
Right.
We haven't been able to bring Mumia home. But we did bring some of the brothers home. Brother Bell got home.
Right.
Sandiata got home. Ekoli got home. These were soldiers who went to jail as children on our behalf. Yes. And never gave up the ghost, never capitulated to the terrorism and the torture they went through over 40 years, plus some of them. And I raise all of that because, see, what we're dealing with is ignorance. Elijah Muhammad put it so clear, the messenger, I love you, messenger.
Yes,
you know, your spirits still resound.
That's right.
Teachings still have power. You says that we are deaf, blind, and dumb. Now, some people got angry when I used that towards some brothers from the continent. They beat me up in Ghana so bad, I lost $800,000 on a deal because I made a statement that the brother, but that was, and my king says, don't you dare apologize because we are deaf, blind, and dumb. The messenger said we're deaf, blind, and dumb. He says we lack knowledge of self. And because you lack knowledge of self, you have self-hate. You do not have self-love. You understand? You do not know self-discipline. You do not understand the next step to building a nation. People talk about building a nation, and they're trying to get to step 15 and hadn't gotten to step 1. Right. And so there's a process.
That's right.
And our elders have come to teach us these processes through the years. None of us have gotten it perfect.
Right.
Some of us got it very wrong sometimes, and some of us got it very right sometimes. But the concept is you must love your ancestors in order to love yourself. And when you love your ancestors, you love the divine in them. And when you learn to love the divine in your ancestors, you can find and recognize the divine in you. Yes. That's what God Allah was talking about. He wasn't talking about this individual being God over nobody. He was telling you to find the essence of the divine in yourself. That's what God and earth is all about.
That's right.
So how do you master cosmology, the stars, and the moons and the sun, the knowledge of them and their relationship, and equate that relationship to ecology, what's happening in nature here on earth, and where do we fit as a human being in it? The knowledge of that is what is African culture, not singing, dancing, and drumming. Singing, dancing, and drumming are tools to explain that to ourselves. You see? And that's what true spirituality is about. And it doesn't mean you can't criticize yourself or any member of the family. The thing is, can the family take the criticism without trying to commit murder or suicide on those who gave the criticism? That thing got Malcolm killed. See, it wasn't just the FBI that infiltrated Malcolm and the CIA and the New York City Police Department, but it was corporate intelligence as well.
Yes.
They were scared of losing. People didn't realize when Malcolm was talking about taking over the so-called ghetto, he was talking about taking billions of dollars out of white people's hands. They want him dead. I'm talking about taking billions of dollars that they were making, exploiting us in Detroit, in Harlem, in Watts, in Memphis. You understand? And Malcolm says, take control of the economics, politics, and culture where you live.
Right.
The man looked up and said, uh-oh, that black nationalism is not good for us. Marcus Garvey, Padmore, Du Bois, Nkrumah, Kenyatta, Ezekwe, they advanced it to another level. They took nationalism and made it internationalism and called it Pan-Africanism. So let's unite the resources we have. Let's unite the information and wisdom we have. Let's unite to keep control of the gold, the diamond, the cobalt, the tungsten, the manganese that's in our ground. that don't sound foolish to me. Pan means to unite. People need to look the word up. It means to bring something together, right?
Bring it together.
And
Right.
when the Germans had pan-Germanism, the Polish had pan-Policism, unite Poland.
Right.
So that we would have there's strength in unity. You remember Malcolm used to say, you open your hands like this and you reap, but when you bring them ditches together,
That's right.
right?
That's
And
right.
we're talking about how do we unite around the things we have in common, economically, politically, and culturally, so that we can protect our greater nation and the next generations to come. If we don't unite around taking control of the resources in the land where we live, the enemy will, as he has done for hundreds of years, and we're just beginning to take it back.
Right.
But the best examples being the brothers in the Sahel, and we got to support their efforts and expand that effort. We see right in the Caribbean between Brother Manley back in the day and what's the other one named? Most people didn't know how that started. It started when Manley started selling the bauxite to Cuba. All right.
Edwin Siaga.
Yeah, Edwin Siaga.
Yeah.
America said, we're not going to let him sell the bauxite to Cuba. And then also Hershey, people don't know the billions of dollars people make off the Hershey candy, right? When Siaga said, okay, we're going to start making sure we don't buy all of this stuff from you. We're going to buy our cocoa from someplace else. Hershey lost its mind. Right. And the U.S. government backed it.
You mean when Manley said that, right?
Yeah.
Because Siaga, we believe he was a plant.
Oh, we know he was a plant.
Exactly.
We lived through that. Yes. I was working with the Workers' Party then, Brother Winston and them. We were sending barrels and barrels of stuff down almost every month. So the point I'm making is that we're still at war, a war that started with the Hicksites, the Hittites, the Hyksos, the Syrians, the Greeks, the Persians, the Romans, the Visigoths. Most people forget them. The reason the Moors went into Spain, they were chasing a German cracker called the Visigoth out of North Africa, right? And so we chased them across the strait and beat them up and took Spain from them. But you got to know history. History erases the mystery.
Big up to Brother Garfield in the building. Big up to Brother Garfield and Sister Jade in the building, an Abundance Child. What's up?
Yes. Yeah. And so we know that history is the foundation.
Yes.
Because what is history anyway? History is nothing more than the voices and the activities of your ancestors.
Yes.
Now, if you're going to learn the lessons of today to plan your future, you've got to study the voices and the experience of your ancestors. If you throw them away and deny them, where's your spiritual lineage to the universe? You see, you're a numerologist.
Yes, sir.
You know this is about sacred science. This ain't about no juka juju.
No,
playing some game,
exactly.
Pouring some water or some liquor or something. That's those games people play because they don't know no better.
That's right.
This is sacred science. How do we master and understand the cosmology and the ecology so we can apply it to our daily lives and have ma'at?
Yes.
Truth, justice, righteousness, harmony, balance, and reciprocity.
Right.
Now we have differences. This is what blows my mind. My mama had 13 kids.
Wow.
All right. She had 4 husbands. I'll live all of them.
Wow.
And that's with a rheumatic fever damaged heart. Mommy's still living to 80s.
Wow.
Right? And the beautiful thing about this, and the reason I'm bringing up Mom and my dad.
Right.
My dad, who was not my genetic dad, married my mother when 11 of us were still alive, and raised 11 kids that he didn't genetically produce. But if you didn't know that, you wouldn't know that, right?
Yeah.
And I remember when he was on his deathbed and he told me to come to the hospital that day at 3 o'clock. I was late. I got there at 5. When I got there, he was gone. And they told me he left at 3. Pop called it on the number when he was leaving. But the day before, he told me what was mine, what was I supposed to do for Mom, what was I supposed to go in his closet and take for me before anybody else get to the house.
Right.
All kinds of things. Because he was my man. He was like straight up, straight ahead. He was a Gullah Geechee. African American Foundation, Black American out of Santee, South Carolina, the swamps. That was one of the maroon communities nobody talks about.
Right.
But he still had his African consciousness, and he understood. My pop taught me most of what I know before I met the outside priests and priestesses. My grandmother was what you call a root woman in the Caribbean. She'd be an obia woman. And she raised me up and sent me out into the world to represent her. I had to have a serious talk with her last night and today, like about what's going on. I said, this be cool. Like I told you, like she told me when all this started, you be cool. I gave you what you needed. Use what you got in your hands. And what I got in the hands is a love for my people. I don't care whether you're a Nation of Islam, Hebrew Israelite.
That's right.
Black American Foundation, Black American, Native American. You can label yourself what you want, but you cannot disown the genetic construct and its true genesis. Okay. You get one genesis.
Right.
Everything else is innovation, mutations, and additions. Okay. That creates the different manifestation of that first genesis, because there's only one genesis. That's why it's called Genesis. And so we just have to learn that having experience in a particular place, do not change your race. Now, Malcolm made it a little simpler.
Yes,
he said a cat having kittens in an oven don't make them biscuits. So, he was so cool with how he makes it simple, right? And so even the brothers and sisters, I heard this, some brothers and sisters were cussing me out for the week, but I love them too. You cannot stop me from loving you. I spent my whole life fighting for you to have the right to raise the consciousness to the point you can cuss somebody out. You cuss out JD, whatever his name, down in Washington. You know what I'm saying? Cuss out Mr. Trump down there in Washington.
JD Vance and them,
yeah. Whatever those people are with their confused selves.
That's right.
Trying to run a nation while you're declaring sovereign. You can't be sovereign if you're in somebody else's nation following their laws.
Stick a pin right there, Baba, because you said that earlier, but I wanted to go to Assata Shakur's methodology, because our late great sister who just passed on recently, I understand she wanted to relocate really to Africa, but she chose Cuba because I guess it didn't have no extradition, from Cuba.
No, because Africa didn't have a state that was able to protect her against the CIA and MI6 and French intelligence. Cuba had the wherewithal to protect her against the murderers.
Wow. And I want to stay there because she was a prime example of setting up an alliance and why it's important to keep the alliance. Because if they had that mechanism in Africa, it would have happened.
Yes.
So some
of the brothers and sisters went to Africa. Elvis Cleaver went to Africa. A lot of the brothers, Brother Harris went to Africa. Sechuweya, Michael Tabor went to Africa. A number of others who was on the run. And they were protected because they were able to move in the bush. Yes. Some of the brothers went and fought with SWAPO. Yeah. Some brothers went and fought with PIGC in Guinea-Bissau. Things people don't know that I know because I was their brother.
That's right.
And I was the mouthpiece back here. Me and Mantu Matsamela, we were the mouthpiece of the Black Liberation Army.
And when you say that, how was it that we got social media that, of course, messages get here faster? How did y'all get the message that usually take longer to get here?
It's that, what do you call that thing? You had to spin the handle on this machine and all that ink, get blue ink getting all over the hand.
The print machine, the print.
Yeah. Well, we could churn out like hundreds and hundreds of flyers a night.
Wow.
And by the next morning, we flood Brooklyn, we flood Harlem, we flood Southside Chicago. We can flood Watts. Because you move from ghetto to ghetto. We had our own kingdom. Yeah. We didn't have to come into his world.
Right. But what about from Africa to here, or from the Caribbean to here?
And brothers was able to move into Canada and slip into Africa, just like that.
Wow. And these are the stories that they're not hearing. I keep on telling you, write this book, but these are the stories that they're not hearing. And because it's so important.
And I've started writing. for the last year, I've been trying to gather up the notes, and I realized, oh my God, I got so many notes. I don't know where to start. So my wife has been trying to help me and others to break things down.
Yes.
And we weren't doing anything we didn't think we were going to write any book. We were just doing the daily due diligence.
Exactly.
The daily due diligence. What do we do? This one needs food. This one needs you to raise some money. This one needs some medical care. And so you're doing the daily due diligence while still, having a wife and children, and your mother and father is getting age and taking care of them. You ain't got no insurance money. You're trying to manipulate the system on the welfare system. I've been on welfare. I've been on food stamps. I've been on all of that, trying to survive in this world. You know me. I was a vendor in the street for decades, vending my T-shirts. That Malcolm X T-shirt, by any means necessary. That's my copyright. Everybody else took it.
Exactly.
I didn't know about it, but vending tapes, and then people talk about the professor piece. Well, I took that,
right,
and they were scared to take it back. Finally, how they got rid of me from city, they fired every adjunct in the college for a year.
Right.
Then hired everybody back except me. So, but that's cool. Let me run.
Let me show them a picture. When I knew you, this is what you look like, sir. This is you right here.
Yeah, that was back in the day.
This is you, sir, in the 80s. That's when I know you and heard you on LIB BLS. I said, man, I got to meet these people, man. And when they started announcing where y'all going to be at, I had to be there. Forget all the foolishness. Oh, my goodness.
But again, we'll come closer to the spirituality and what our discussion going to be at the bookstore.
Yes, sir.
But just to my brothers and sisters, stop fighting one another. Yes. Even if you have a difference, you don't have to go to war with each other. We sitting in the house of the most demonic beings in the world, and you only ain't fighting them. So stop.
That's right.
Stop.
Yeah.
Reach out and find out how to solve the contradictions.
That's right.
Even I can make mistakes, and you can make mistakes. How do you solve the contradiction? You're going to turn and savagely eat up yourself because you have a conflict, and you don't even raise your finger at your enemy that puts you into the condition to have a conflict, right?
That part.
So stop for a minute. We use the word love. What does love really mean? There's no way that any of us, those who I walk with, and I walk with a very powerful brotherhood in America.
That's right.
And for those who don't know, I asked the elders last night, can I say, I am the high priest of the craft of Hunefa at the shrine of Amun-Ra for the entire Western Hemisphere. So I can call out things you can't even imagine that I can call down. If I wanted to call that down. But I've never, ever used anything that I'm a part of to hurt my people. And won't do it now. Whatever little headache and hiccups people are having, you got more work to do. Go back to work. Yes. Build the nation and the sovereignty you say you want. Learn what sovereignty really is. There are many sovereign Black states in the world. This is not one of them. We are in the house of the demon. We are not sovereign here. We can create sovereignty if we hook up with others who have established sovereign nations outside of the boundaries of this place. One day, we will have all of America back, this land in North America, just by attrition, because this crack is going to die. Now, I won't see his final death. Maybe my great-grandchildren will see it. But even when we get it back, the trick is going to be, are we going to be him when we get it back, or are we going to be we?
That's right. That's right. That's right.
And if you don't know the difference between the him and the we, it comes down to behavior, character.
Yes.
Right? And if you don't have the character of the God being, you're going to have the character of the demon being. And you need to examine to find which one is which. And our ancestors laid a foundation. Those things people are calling religion, they weren't religion. There was an explanation of the science of the universe and the laws of nature.
That's right.
And rituals is nothing more than a teaching tool. You know, drum rhythm, your body. You know, I remember when I had my first acupuncture treatment many years ago.
Right.
And they kept testing me all over. And I asked the Chinese brother, I said, what are you doing? He said, I'm checking your pulse. I said, yeah, but my pulse is here in my wrist. He said, oh, that's in America. They have one pulse. So we check you for 10 different pulses.
Yep.
Which means that every organ in your body has its own rhythm pattern.
Yes.
All right. And what our ancestors was doing with what we call drumming and music was mimicking the rhythm pattern of the human body.
Mm-hmm.
Right. That's why you can say healing drums.
Yeah.
Because if my liver lost its rhythm, the drum beat would have to guide it back. Mm-hmm. So that the liver then heals itself because its rhythmic pattern have been restored.
Right.
Which means it can produce the ions and electrons necessary to carry out the healing process. That's sacred science. That's above what white man calls spirituality. And we haven't even touched it. We've been doing a good job with holistic eating and holistic living and health foods over the last few decades.
Right.
But we've got to break free of his matrix completely in terms of how it defines our divine relationship and realities. And that comes from knowing history, not from denying history. You know, some people look at my skin, I'm just as ruddy as can be. Yeah, I got some Tuscarora and I got some Chicora. These are native people who are Asiatic and African mixed, living along the Waccamaw River and the PD River and the Black River down in South Carolina. I got family on the reservation up in the mountains of North Carolina, right? We've done our family reunion up there. But that don't mean I have to disown the 85 or 95% of me that is African to own the 1%. I thought with this look and me cleaning the graves of my ancestors' mounds when I was growing up with Grandpa, that I was at least 50% Native American. I'm only 1.5% of their genetic. I got more Irish blood. I got 3% Irish. I go like, damn, well, you know.
They got in there.
This comes from some ethnic nation in Africa. Right. About 15 different ethnic nations, with the largest being the Mendi of Sierra Leone from the former Mali Empire. You know, but so we carry the gene pool of the whole world. Right. And there was only one Genesis that produced us.
Right.
All right. Now we've taken on new variations of the original genes because ecology changed that, behavior and character changed that, experience and encounter in the ecology and the world changed that, right. But it changed it so it can adapt and maneuver in the environment it finds itself.
Right.
But it is able to do that because it hangs on to its ancestral genes, not because it throws them away. We've been fighting this war in America. We haven't been waiting for no help from the continent. Because those poor brothers and sisters are fighting the wars there. We haven't waited from the Caribbean, but we got more help from the Caribbean than most, because many of our leaders immersed out of those little islands and moved here to this country and helped us fight this war in the streets. Because the term we used to say back in the day, one Africa. You know, one Africa. And if you don't like that name, throw it away. It did not come from Leo Africanus, by the way. Leo Africanus was born centuries after that name is being used. You want to use the Kibulan, you can't prove that a Kibulan means anything, but Dr. Ben used to use it. And
Dr. Ben used to use it all the time.
Right. So you can use that, or you can go back further.
So somebody said in the chat, DNA can't be trusted. DNA and ancestry can't be trusted, but yet when people want to find out about babies, DNA is going to be trusted then.
Well, it depends on who you get to do your DNA. Exactly. You know, you can't get the wrong persons. You can't get your enemy to do your DNA.
That's right. I went to African Ancestry, and it told me, matter of fact, because I know the Grimaldis was also in Europe. I had North Africa, I had Europe, I had all of that we traveled through, man.
We are the world.
That's right.
We are the foundation of the world, not North America only. For the configuration of gene clusters that we've developed in the last 5 years, which is very little, by the way, very little gene variation in North America. There's been a lot of cultural variation, and most of that have been culture of oppression, not culture designed deliberately. Culture like fighting back, trying to survive, survival culture.
Right.
And the greatest part of that survival culture occurred in the church, you know, because that was the only sanctuary we had to hide and do our thing.
Right.
For almost 2 centuries.
Right.
So we are the world. And those are things we have to struggle with. Yes, I'm in North America. Yes, I got a peculiar culture. Yes, I got a peculiar relationship to the European here. But the brother in Nigeria, he got the same relationship to the cracker from Britain.
That's right.
He got to take the one in Togo, got that same relationship with the dude from France. And the one in Angola got that same relationship with the white dude from Portugal.
Right.
But it doesn't make us enemy, because we've got different aspects of the enemy's family that we have to fight.
Right.
Matter of fact, it would make common sense if we ally ourselves in the fight, because they have allied themselves in the fight against us.
That's right.
But we have not allied ourselves in the fight against them.
Somebody said, I got to address this, that the blacks in Jamaica do not consider themselves black. I'm like, what are you talking about? Who is this?
Most blacks in America just started considering themselves black yesterday. But that's what the struggle is to enlighten our people. All of us have been injured. All of us have been hurt.
Exactly.
You know, I've been together with a queen for, we've had our issues. We still fight now over stuff. We fight over concepts, ideas, and principles affecting how we carry out the struggle. We've been together 54 years. Her mama is from Trinidad. Her dad is from St. Martin. She born in Aruba, been here since she was 7.
Right.
So that means she been here. She's more foundational Black American than most of y'all, because she been with me since she been 18. Okay, and we were in the mosque together when she was Sister Tahira.
Now, Professor James, isn't all of the Western Hemisphere considered the Americas?
All of it. There's no country with America in its name. This is the United States.
Geographically, I'm talking about Caribbean.
Geographically, this is the Americas.
The Americas, all of it is from Canada all the way down to the Caribbean.
The word is not from the name of the nation did not come from America Vespucci. That's right. It came from native people over here in the description of the land they were in. Even if it was trick or two, trick or three, it does not change anything.
Right.
Africa is the genesis of humanity. You can cut yourself off from it mentally, but you cannot cut yourself off from that genesis genetically. So stop it.
But when we look at the map, the whole map, even St. Peter's map or whatever, the ancient map before that, as far as the whole world, it looked like a big jigsaw puzzle. Could it all have happened in one and then separated?
We've been down here for a couple of billion years plus now. We've been moving around for millions upon millions and millions of years. I don't know why it's such a mystery that we can still be made it all the way to Australia, Vanuatu, Cambodia, but we could make it that short distance from Ghana to the Caribbean.
Right.
Some people would rather take the Easter Island route, so people came across the Pacific Ocean 3 times the distance of the Atlantic Ocean, and that's doable, no argument. But 3 white men proved it 6 years ago. They got in a damn rowboat in Ghana and made it to the Bahamas. Took them 6 weeks in a rowboat because they got in the right current. There's 3 currents off of the coast of Africa that will bring you here. The first one is off of the Canary Islands. The other is off of Guinea. And the other is just below the Bight down there called Ghana. So, we need to just study history.
I want to share something that I looked up on ChatGPT, since everybody's using that on a big thing. There's a question that I asked when your whole situation happened. I asked this question. I said, could FBA be infiltrated by COINTEL program? This is the answer. Short answer, yes. Any political, social, or grassroots movement can be infiltrated, including FBA, but that does not mean it has been infiltrated, only that the possibilities always exist.
And that's what I said. And so they went to war with me. They should go read that and go to war with them.
Then it says,
That's
then it goes,
almost word for
hold on.
word.
Then it goes, hold on. It goes on to say historical patterns, why this is a real possibility. COINTELPRO's core strategy was to infiltrate Black-led organizations, including NAACP, SCLC, SNCC, Black Panthers, Nation of Islam, Black Nationalists, and Pan-African Organization. Their documents' tactics included planting informants, creating internal conflict, discrediting leaders, causing organizational splits, disseminating misinformation, monitoring digital and physical communication.
Yeah. No,
and gave me a whole list of stuff.
Listen, we had saw Malcolm's dead body lay before us because of that. We saw Fred Hampton's dead body lay before us because of that. We saw many others who we didn't, because we didn't understand what was happening back then. You know, the one thing I won't tell you, I got so close to scare you if you got as close as I did. All right.
Yes.
But my best teacher, my top martial arts teacher, the brother who I loved him eating my mama's house, we slept in the same bed, and he turned out to be British intelligence out of Belize, loaned to NYPD. Now, the only reason I found that out because I helped a young brother, go cold turkey in my dorm room on heroin, right? And his father turned out to be the chief inspector of Manhattan North, the highest ranking Black cop in New York. And this man approached me one day to thank me, and I told him, cops don't thank, get away from me. And he said, you saved my son's life. I go like, I don't know your son. And then he told me about the boy. And he told me, he says, you're surrounded by people who are mostly ours. I said, nah, I wouldn't believe that. He said, we had taken over that state office building site at that time, right? Hundreds of us was involved. Right. And doing other moves at that time. We had just left to take over at City College at that time. He said 7 out of 10 of the people around you work for us. I said, that is impossible. He said, no, he said, you're thinking they're trained agents. He said, we're talking about collaborators and informers, which is different from somebody who's a trained Army. He told me, he said this, first time I ever heard Army intelligence, Navy intelligence, the United people don't understand the CIA is an umbrella for 23 intelligence network. Say that again. The CIA is an umbrella for 23 intelligence network. British MI6 and MI5 is right here in America spying on us. Why is the British spying on us in America? Because any relationship we have with the Caribbean or Africa is in their interest to spy on us. French intelligence spies on us. And when I began to learn these things, I remember I was instructed by Ella. At that time, Ella was the president of OAU.
Malcolm X's sister. Right?
Malcolm X's sister. I was her chief bodyguard.
Yes, right.
And so she had ordered me. I had taken 40 brothers into that move on the site to return the brothers to base, to the mosque. And that's the first time I'd refused an order from her. So she sent the order again through some other people. So I returned the brothers, but I said, I'm going to stay to the end until we either go to jail, get beat up. Some of us went to jail that day, and some of us got beat up in a bloody fight later that afternoon. But the thing is, we were just learning then about these people. But then when I started studying and saw what this didn't just start with the Panther Party. Go back and study the life of the Honorable Elijah Muhammad.
That's right.
Study the life of Marcus Garvey. They did the same thing to Garvey.
That's right. Study
what happened to Kwame Nkrumah. They did the same thing to Kwame Nkrumah. You know, because we're not paying attention to history. We're not paying attention to history. I got so close one time, and I won't even go down. That's too private. I'm gonna leave. You know what I'm talking about.
Please, that's when we're in the car talking, sir.
Yeah.
But you told me years ago. You told me some history about Malcolm and Elijah, man. That you said you don't.
But by the grace of the ancestors and the divine, I'm still alive.
Yes.
You know, one brother said on one stage, said, well, I ain't never seen him in L.A. So go pick up the newspapers. 1970. I'm in the 7-7 precinct in Orange County, the worst precinct in California, right? Charged with $1 million worth of heroin and 2 stolen guns from a raid on the Oakland Armory. You understand? I'm only out of that because Yasser Arafat stepped in. At that time, Yasser Arafat was the head of El Fatah. In my mosque, I housed El Fatah's Women's Brigade. Yeah, that's before Professor Small, folks. That's when I was in a whole nother world. When I was al-Hajj, yes, when I went to Mecca, Amin Ashahid.
That's right.
Back in the day. And so you learn things about the enemy, and that's when how you change what you do and how you do it. So I began to give up all that stuff and move towards African understanding what we meant when we say Gullah Geechee. What do we mean when we're talking about voodoo? What was our people talking about down in Louisiana and Mississippi and in the Delta? What was keeping them alive against all that tyranny? What were they finding in the church when they created the Daughters of Tenth? What did the brothers who created the African Free Lodge in the 1700s, they never lost their name. 1700 Prince Hall was called the African Free Lodge. In South Carolina and Georgia in 1749, the African Baptist Church, which moved to Jamaica and became the Pocomane movement. The same brother who founded the church, he fought with the British, and the British took him to Jamaica after the war. And the African Methodist Church, we've used that word all through our history in America to define ourselves. We never lost our memory of ourselves. Yeah, we had some confusion. Yes, he cut us off in many ways, but we always had secret societies hanging on to knowledge of self. And the Honorable Elijah Muhammad tried to show us that was an essential thing that had to be understood. Knowledge of self, knowledge of self. And that just means know your history of your family. Nobody's trying to take anything away from you. There was a struggle around reparations. I was in the original in Cobra group, and when I moved away from them, I started working with the Chicago movement, Conrad Word, National Black United Front, Dorothy Tillman. We held 2 reparation conferences. Some brothers said, I never seen him in Chicago. I damn near lived in Chicago. You know what I'm saying? Working with Conrad Word, Anderson Thompson, Jake Carruthers, Dorothy Tillman. I testified before the Chicago City Council with LaRon Bennett to get the ordinance that forced the people to expose where they made their parent monies from, like Chase Bank and Citibank and so forth. So everybody's got a pedigree. I was just blessed that I lived in a time where there was a Dr. Bannon, Dr. Clark, and Dr. Jeffries Van Sertima, Francis Welsing. I was just blessed.
That's right.
You are now blessed because you are Dr. Benz. Want somebody going to look back on these youngsters out here now, and FBA and the United Front and whatever we want to label ourselves to identify ourselves, ways that power is what? The ability to define your reality and have other people accept your definition as if they were own. So I don't try to mess with nobody's definition. But you can't mess with mine either. You can't then attack my mother and my father and says, I got to be quiet. Attack the African race, you've attacked me.
That's right.
You attack my brothers and sisters anywhere in the world, you've attacked me. Yes, we can criticize each other. All of us, none of us is above criticism.
That's right.
Like I told the brothers from FBA, criticize me and kick my ass if that's what you got to do if you think I'm wrong.
Right.
Then let's stop the self-warfare and go to war with the real enemy. Because he's never going to compromise with you. He's never going to cut a deal with you. You see what they're doing in Venezuela?
That's right.
The history of Venezuela. When the cocaine was coming into our country, it was coming to our country because George Bush, Bill Clinton, the ones y'all have shown love for, right, were part of a cartel that used Venezuela as its base to bring the heroin and coke into our country, into our streets, under the guise that they were trying to set up the cartels in Colombia. You understand? So they know that they're going to fight something they set up. But that ain't why they're going after Venezuela now. Venezuela is no drug dealers. Venezuela don't need no drug dealing. Venezuela got the largest oil reserve in the world.
That's right. That's right.
And Venezuela have real crude. America got what you call sweet crude, this little tin thing. Even the refineries in America can't deal with this thing America got because it's the minimal. So they need the Venezuela oil.
They got ships surrounding it right now. My friends from Trinidad are telling me that now.
China and the Soviet Union that said if you're gonna have a war, you're gonna have a war with us too, because China's already there helping them.
That's right.
Silvius is already there helping militarily. They don't want that conflict. They just want the oil. So you heard yesterday he made a telephone call to Maduro, but they don't tell you what the phone call was about. The phone call was about, let's make a deal.
Let's make a deal. Of course. He's a businessman.
Let's make a deal. All right. Let's make a deal. So we don't try to intimidate you. We don't try to blow up the boats. We don't know what those boats was. We don't know whether that was AI movie shit they were doing for blowing up boats. Okay. And so now we couldn't scare you. And we couldn't scare the people of Venezuela. So let's make a deal. Because if we don't get this oil, the American economy is going to really go into a crash, and we can print all the paper money we want. It's not going to save it. That's where they're at right now, right? But we need to study the bounce and ball on international politics and international economics and see what's going on.
And Professor Small, we're coming up on the top of the hour. You don't mind any questions, right? You don't mind any questions?
No, I'll take any questions.
Yeah,
we're going to I don't know.
Exactly. Of course, we're going to take respectful questions. If you want to come up on the live link, you got to be respectful. If you become disrespectful, I am deleting, blocking, and throwing you off, period. One of the questions I do want to ask before I take those questions at 10 o'clock, did you ever get to talk to Tariq Nasheed?
No, I called Tariq last week a couple of times, and I understand he's pissed with me. But, I didn't say what his people put up on that banner. I never said FBA equals CIA. They put that out there. Right. And the brother, I'm not going to call that brother's name because he's a beautiful young brother.
Right.
And he know who I'm talking about because I've talked to him.
Right.
I told him I'll even come on your platform when all this mess is over. I'll come on any platform FBA got, And the brother who put out the stuff that started all of this with me cussing out the Africans and calling death by 125th Street, he's also from FBA. He's like a damn son to me.
Right.
He called me and told me he did it.
And big up to Sonetta. Big up to Sonetta.
I'm not going to call his name either.
Right. I know who it is. I know who it is already.
Yeah.
I know who it is. But they taking all these clips as clickbait, and it's also aggravating people like Tariq.
Because those folks doing the aggravating is making good money this week off of Brother Small.
Exactly. On YouTube and on the clips.
But the thing is, let me say division and confusion is in the enemy's interest. It's not in our interest.
Exactly.
And if you think you're intimidating me or you're trying to fight me, you got the wrong dude.
And let me say for the record, like I said on Sonetta's show, that I support the FBA in respect that they don't disrespect the wrong people. And I know there's coons in the Caribbean, there's coons in Africa, there's coons here in America. If you're going to stop calling people tethers and you don't even know that I've been boots on the ground since I was 14 helping out the Americans here, my Caribbean people there, trying to find unity and find blends. And that's why, I don't understand a lot of this stuff. That's why I don't get into a lot of it. And people don't understand. My family's from Jamaica. I'm born here in the Jewish hospital in Brooklyn. I'm born in the Jewish hospital for 58 years. My grandmother came here at the end of the 40s and helped teach some of because she was in Cuba and Jamaica, she helped teach some of the midwives here in America how to deliver babies in those hospitals back in the day.
Yeah, that's why history, my brother, is so important to understand. When the Haitian Revolution happened, how many of them know that tens of thousands of foundational Black Americans moved to Haiti? Now, a lot of them moved back because life was a little too hard down there.
It's a little rough in Haiti.
But some of them stayed. Even in Dominican Republic, there are a couple of towns there that speaks English from the brothers and sisters that went from here. And that brothers like Nat Turner and the others, Nat Turner, when they had him in court and they were about to kill the brother, they asked him who was his leader. You know what he said to them?
What he said?
My leader is Jean-Jacques Dessalines.
Dessalines.
So the judge stopped the court, told the sheriff and the army, go find this damn Jean-Jacques Dessalines and bring him back to this court. Took them a few weeks and they came back and they said to Jessup, did you find him? He said, yeah, the man been dead almost 50 years.
Exactly.
And so they asked Turner again, are you crazy? Who is your leader? He says, Jean-Jacques Dessalines. That's how close our movements were even back then. Denmark Vesey is not a foundation Black America by the definition we use today. But he was getting ready and almost pulled off the biggest rebellion in the history of America. But he came from the Caribbean. as a teenager. You know, Prince Hall came from Barbados as a teenager. And these men didn't make no distinction between location and race. And I understand why we're making it. See, the thing is, I understand, and that's why I was telling the young brother in Africa, you got to understand why people are reacting to you like this, because you come to America, whatever the motivation, the motivation is I need a green card, I need a job, I need to make money to take care of the family. That's and we know that the Immigration and State Department tell you not to have nothing to do with us.
That's right.
And out of fear and intimidation, you take nothing to do with us. You go in their community under the guise, well, this is an immigrant relationship. And this is not everybody. Because I learned about this from other brothers and sisters who didn't listen to the State Department. All right? Who didn't listen to them and came into our community and got to know who we are and became a part of our community. Right. But there are a lot of, like they're going after the brothers and sisters from Somalia now out of Minnesota, when they were secretly bringing those brothers and sisters here.
Exactly.
Putting them deliberately in Minnesota, right, to disperse the strength of the Black population there. But they never thought one day they would unite and elect Ilhan as Senator of Congress, right? So now they're pissed because the shit they did backfired on them.
Backfired, exactly.
So we just need to look and say, listen, yes, for those who are Foundation African American, for 400 years we've been in this country being molded by these circumstances, you have a right.
Exactly.
Because it's me who started this before it was called Foundation Black America.
That's right.
You have a right to define your distinct relationship to the rest of the world.
That's right.
So that your identity will be unique and yours, like everybody else. The Yoruba is a unique identity for some African people who live in Nigeria, but he's Yoruba, Nigerian, and African all at the same time. It's not a contradiction. So you're going to give away your birthright, to identify with a piece of your lineage? You have a lineage longer than 500 years.
The messenger said, and I remember Khalid talking about, we had all 196,940,000 square miles of this planet Earth, period. We was here before that. Even Dr. Clark said, white folks only have like 5 minutes in. We got 55 minutes on this planet. 55 minutes.
We build this. We own this. Let's keep this. But I want Africa too. I ain't giving them a damn thing. I've said often that until we take over the whole world again, the world will never be free again. Because we're the only one that can heal the universe. They can't.
They can't.
And no partnership you can make with them will that healing be able to happen. This healing will only happen when the indigenous people of the planet Earth is restored to its integrity. And that means the unification of the African world. You can call it whatever you want to call it. Call it quicksand getting together, long as we figure a way to partner so that we be stronger. Instead of being like the 5 fingers, we're going to be like the 1 digit. That's all unity means. So let's not confuse it with terms, Right. And love is essential for unity. All right.
Right. Hold on. It is now 4 minutes after the hour, family. Big up to Monique Nicholas. Let me talk about that event happening this coming 13th of December. Let me talk about that real quick, Professor, and then I'll get to some of these questions that people are asking me via text and everything else. So remember, December the 13th, before my man head out, I think he's still going to Ghana, right?
No, if I get rested, I lost a lot of family members in the last few months, 5. So I've been trying to calm my spirit.
No problem. All right. Let's talk about it anyway. We're going to December the 13th. We're going to be at Nicholas Brooklyn, the world famous Nicholas Brooklyn at 1396 Fulton Street. $35. The $30 tickets, early bird tickets is all gone now. It's $35 before the December 13th and $40 at the door. You can get your tickets via Linktree. That's Linktree/King Simon the Numerovator. I will put that in the chat right now. So if you want to get your tickets, and for the live stream, there's a certain price for the live stream, but you can also get the live stream also if you want to come and check it out. Hold on, let me put that Linktree and make sure everybody is in the chat that want to come out. It's going to be from 5 to 9 p.m. Opening ceremony and sound bowl healing will be by Sister Kafunya. We're going to start at 5:55. 5:55 is when we start the whole event. All right, doors open at 5 o'clock, letting y'all know. Sister Kafunya gets on at 5:55 with the sound bowl healing for at least 5 to 10 minutes. Sister Felicia from Hoppy is going to be also opening and speaking, and Brother Joshua Sarah returning to burn and do what he got to do. And then we're going to have Professor Smalls rock out for the rest of the evening and do what we're going to take a break after Joshua Sarah and go right in. And just want to remind people, get on over there, get your tickets right now. It's got of course. Professor James Small is going to get an honorarium from us, as we usually do. We're going to make sure he get taken care of. So make sure y'all come on out and join us. And also, I want to remind everybody that on the 6th, are you going to be able to go to any of this for Baba Heru, brother?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, I've been back and forth with the brothers. I'm going to make both.
Okay.
Me and Haru, we go back to the 70s.
That's right. I know that when he was a police officer. Remember when he was a police officer?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Matter of fact, the brother who had the security for OAU, who was with Malcolm the day Malcolm died. Yes. Him and Haru started the jewelry business together.
Oh, get out of here. Wow. So we're going to be with Baba Heru on this Baba Heru Celebration of Life, December 6th in Manhattan at the Caribbean Cultural Center, African Diaspora Institute at 120 East 125th Street in New York, New York. Stores open at 12:30. It should start around 1 o'clock. And then we're going to be in Brooklyn on December 7th at Medgar Evers College. That's 1650 Bedford Avenue. That's right there. Start at 1 o'clock at Medgar Evers College Founders Auditorium. Absolutely free to get in, but you do have to register because they have limited seating on both of them. So make sure you. I don't even have the Eventbrite. I got to make sure I get that from Brother Sanjetti real quick. And also do remember on the 12th, if you can be out there at the UBS Arena. Shaggy, a friend of mine, I went to school with him back in the day. He's going to be there. A whole host of Kamani Marley, Bob Marley's son is going to be there. This is going to be at the USB Arena. They're doing a tribute and benefit for Jamaica. George Crooks from Jammin's Travel and people from Irie Jam FM wants to send $1 million to Jamaica because Jamaica will need some help after what I've seen through WhatsApp and all of that. There's going to be a lot of help they need to build up there, St. Elizabeth and those places. And then I just want to remind everybody, of course, the 13th, we're going to be in the building. And then, of course, on the 20th, I will be with Ascended Infinite Goddess on the 20th on an online presentation, Catapult Your Energy into 2026, as I break down the numbers and how to do that. And then on the 21st, I will be with the one, the only Queen Afua at Eye Opener Production, my brother Shabazz. Make sure you give him a call. You want to be a vendor, you want to get your tickets. Early bird tickets is $25. Go ahead and call him at 347-683-8122. Big up to New Diamonds in the building, one of my sponsors. Big up to Monique Nicholas, also one of my sponsors. Big up to Abundance Child, one of my sponsors. Big up to my son and his recording studio, one of my sponsors. Big up to the one, the only Dr. Shakira Moore, one of my sponsors. Big up to Lloyd Strayhorn, also one of my sponsors. Got a big up, and also martial arts extraordinaire Professor Zahalia, one of my sponsors, also in the building. And make sure you book a session with me when you want to do a numerovation session with me. All right, one of the questions Sister Jade asks, what was the general community response when the move bombing happened in Philly? And where was Baba, and was the national community response at that time? What was that all about?
Well, a lot of us who was in, you had different levels of people in struggle.
Right.
A lot of us even came to Philly because the bomb didn't happen on the first day. The siege has been going on for a while, and the attack on the move community had been going on for a while. And so it was immediate outpouring of positive response on the part of the nationalist community and the revolutionary community, and especially most of the people in what we would call today the civil rights community. Right. And that's with the press giving bad information, false information, lying, because they tried to cover this up. It just got too big to be covered up.
There was a black mayor at that time, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Wow.
No. Was the black one there yet?
I think it was.
Yeah. He had just come in after that chief of police dude I forgot his name.
Okay.
And just went out. Okay. But they intended to drop that bomb. It wasn't like something they did. They tried to pretend, they did an incendiary thing to get them out, and they dropped their bomb. and they committed genocide, and they were able to get away with the genocide because even the community, many of the elements in our community, into the Black community, that called this down. See, this didn't just happen. The so-called working class, petty bourgeois, unconscious, ignorant people, all right, was the one that called this down, meaning they called the authorities to come in to move that community out of their homes. Our community did that. Black community did that. Of course, the whites wanted to do it anyway, but now they had justification because their people say we don't want them here. You know? And as the divine would have it, all of them lost their homes too.
Really?
Whoa. The whole block burnt up.
Yeah, the whole block. Yes, yes, that's right. That's right.
The very ones who said we want them out of here, they lost their homes too.
Wow.
But the Black community rallied as best we could, but all we could. That's how I met Sister Pam Africa, and we've been comrades till this day. She and her beautiful king, you know, and so many others in that movement down in Philadelphia.
Right.
Philadelphia was a very strong, powerful move. Was just one of the communities down there. There's a brother down there. Most people don't remember and should remember him. He's my elder. His name is Muhammad Ahmed.
I remember that name. I heard that name before.
He was the head of RAMS, the Revolutionary Action Movement, while he was under Malcolm.
That's right. I heard that name before.
Because some people said, well, it used to be the revolutionary arm of the Muslims.
Yes. Okay. Yes.
And so these revolutionary comrades, we've all been fighting together for close to 60 years.
Now, somebody asked a question about, tell us your experience with H. Rap Brown, brother Imam Jamil. Please, the great brother just passed on.
Yeah, I mean, I was a member of SNCC under when Stokely was still there, and when Rap took over, and they moved their office to the Teresa Hotel.
Yes,
on 125th Street. We had just moved out of Teresa Hotel. I was a member of the OAAU, Malcolm's organization, and I was quiet at that time. I was secretly the imam of the Muslim Mosque Inc. while I was under training under Haji Sham Jabba and Brother Camille Wadu and Osman Ahmed out of Sudan. And so Rap and I used to walk home together because our headquarters now was on 139th Street.
Right.
But he lived in the Esplanade Garden on 147th Street. I lived across the street on 147 in the tenements. And so we would walk home in the evening. You know, we weren't schooling buddies, but we were close enough.
Right.
When he went to jail on that hit in New York, when they thought they had killed him, and they dragged his body down the step by his feet and throw him in the street. And it was a white man walking by with his dog and hear him moaning and yell, "This man is still alive. He's still alive." And so by now there was too many witnesses for them to kill him. That was an assassination attempt. Wow. And when he went to jail, it was me and WP that sent him his first book on history, what we would call our nationalist history, and it was Sheikh Anta Diop, African Origin of Civilization, Truth or Reality. And I saw him for the last time. We were in Mecca at the same time. And we were standing, last time I spoke to him, we were standing in front of the Mecca Hotel in the city of Mecca itself. Myself, Rodnell Collins, Malcolm X's nephew, and then he was with a couple of other brothers who were Arab. And we taught, that's the last time we had sat down and had a serious talking. But he was our leader. There was an incident that happened down in Maryland, Cambridge, Maryland earlier, and two of our New York comrades were down there with him before he got shot in the New York incident. Again, they tried to assassinate him, but they threw a grenade into the car, and it killed Brother Che and Brother Ralph Featherstone. But they had switched cars, so they threw the bomb in the wrong car. And then they tried to say the brothers had a bomb in the car and it went off. That wasn't true. They killed our comrades. I remember Ralph was married to Sister Charlotte, who was the sister of my sensei, Gerald Orange, the Black Monk Dojo back in those days. So we were all kind of in this thing together. You know, we were just young people. We were in our 20s. We were fighting like the young people are doing today. And many of the young people who's on this thing, we're just trying to figure out what the hell is going on. How do we do it? How do we fight? Who do we fight? Who are we? What's our identity? All these are not new questions. We were all struggling with that in the 60s and the 70s. And so Rap is one of those brothers that never capitulated. He never bent his knees. He never gave up. You know, there have been very few like him. You know, he never yield to
Right.
the, you know.
And that's powerful to know. You know, getting to what we're going to be discussing in thing, spiritual warfare. What, from your perspective now, what is spiritual warfare like nowadays? Is it different than what it was practiced back in those days? What is spiritual warfare like nowadays in this day and time?
Well, it's not that much. The difference is we thought religion was spirituality back in the day. And we were using the religion, and the religion was a good step because religion is a tool of spirituality. It shouldn't be an enemy to spirituality. It's the tool of spirituality. Right. But many people, ignorant and vicious and backward people, have made religion the enemy of spirituality. Right. Spirituality is the science that drives religion. All right. Spirituality is a knowledge and an understanding of cosmology. Cosmology is all them things we see up in the stars and all those elements. Spirituality is the understanding of ecology. Everything we see down here, from the bug to the grass to the bird to the fish to ourselves.
Right.
But the science, the sacred science, is how does all that work together in harmony? Right. What kind of character do we have to develop to be in balance and harmony? Now, Dr. Ben used to call that the law of opposites, cause and effects. But when you study quantum physics, you begin to understand the African had it right. We had it right. And our science of understanding and our science of knowing, like you do numerology.
Right.
Everything in existence can be explained through mathematics. Right. Okay. Right. And so our ancestors knew this. And so they created the science of numerology that you now practice as a way of explaining the mathematical rhythm and composition of the universe.
Right. Right.
We created what do you call it? We studied and learned and mastered astronomy, meaning we mapped out the skies, we knew how things move, how long it moved, how it changed position. But that was too complicated to explain to the damn masses. So we created astrology to explain astronomy to the masses. All of that is part of our spiritual sacred science.
I read that in a book on Africa Counts, and Baba John Henry Clark was the one that actually did the foreword to that book, and he broke down the mysticism of numbers. He went into it. He went into all of that. And now, big up to Aton Edwards in the building and everybody that's coming in. Sister Kafunya, somebody wants to talk to you. Let me talk to Immortal Melanie. Got one question. Let's do it, my brother. Let's get it in. Let's bring him on right now. How you doing, sir?
How you doing, brother Immortal?
How you doing? Can't hear you, Immortal. What's up? We on? I can hear you. I can't hear you. We're talking.
You're mute. Hit your mute button.
You're on the phone. That's why, I guess. Yeah, I can hear you now. What's up? Talk to me. All right. He can't hear you. I'm talking to you. Don't have to put you back out there, brother. Go call back in if you can. Call back in. Call back in. Call back in. Call back in. Let's remove him because he's wasting time. But people want to ask questions in the chat. I don't want to keep Baba too long because he has to go and enjoy his family and his beautiful wife and the food he got.
but we can take a few more questions.
Yeah, take a few. I got a few more questions for you. If once people throw more in there. Now, Baba, how can we as melanated people of this globe, or flat Earth?
Mm.
Big up to those people. Let's not go down that road. How can we practice more healing modalities to get us, to get us to start working together more, having alliances, letting people do their own delineation, or let people get what they're supposed to get from reparation in every continent, every world?
Because everybody's got a
start
case.
doing the healing work?
Yeah, everybody's got a case, and the cases almost all of them are different.
Yes, they are.
So you know what your case is. We know what our case is over here. That's different from the case the brothers in Nigeria got against Britain, which is different from the case that the Mozambican got against Portugal. But they all got a case, and let them make their case. We make our case. And we can't get all loosed in the joint about a few dollars, where there's billions of dollars.
Mm-hmm.
Billions of dollars is not worth losing the love of one Africa towards another African.
Yes.
All right. Yes. Because we own the earth. We got trillions and trillions in the earth.
Yes, right.
We can extract. So, but we're going to make them pay for what they did. We've been making them pay in certain ways through the years, but we're going to make them do the big pay.
Right.
And we're going to encourage the brothers and sisters in other places to make them pay where they're at.
Okay.
We're winning this war. They're not winning this war. We're not losing this war. It's just a war. Anytime you're fighting a war, it's protracted.
Right.
We didn't get in this situation in 200 years, 300 years, not even 500 years. We got in this system over a 3,000-year war we've been at with these people.
Right.
Starting in the East Africa that they're stolen, called the Middle East.
Right.
And then into deeper into Central Africa, Southern Africa, Northern Africa. And then they came over here. They found us here. We know we were here when they got here. They know we were here when they got here. The first time I realized it was LaRon Bennett book, Shaping a Black America, the chapter on the black and the red.
Black and the red, right.
Like I said, they all look alike. Let's go raid the villages and enslave them too. And they were talking mainly about the East Coast population.
Right, right.
I come out of the Chicora Nation, but you got the Yamasees, and you got the Wakamos, and you got the Tuscaroras, and you got the PDs, all in that space between Georgia and South Carolina into central North Carolina.
Right. And let's try Immortal again. He says he's back on. I'm going to ask a question after that. Immortal, what's your question, sir? What's going on? Can you hear me? Immortal. He's doing it again. Immortal. He's gone again. I don't know what happened, man. I don't know what's going on. You spoke about the Maroons of South Carolina also, right?
Mm-hmm.
Now, was there ever a time when the Maroons of the Southern Maroons ever did trade with the Maroons of the Caribs and the Arawak and all of that?
We always have a relationship.
Yes,
that's
what I'm a Maroon Arawak from Jamaica. I have my aunts always told me that since I was a baby.
Mm-hmm.
So
and my people from what they call the Freewood. And for those who don't know, there was the three massive Maroon communities in North America. One was in Florida.
Right.
There was no such thing as Seminole Indians. That's a myth. Seminole come from the word Cimarron. Just like Maroon comes from the word Cimarron. The Spanish used the word Cimarron to mean runaway slave. This, when the English got there, they cut the Sim off and just made it Maroons.
Right.
And so in Florida, the crazy cracker couldn't pronounce the Spanish Cimarron, so he came out with Seminole. But it was the black folks who were escaping and going down to Florida and marrying into the Creek Nation that produces the Seminole Nation. And not just any Creek Nation, because the big part of the Creek Nation sided with the slaves, slave catchers.
Right.
They married into the Red-Tailed Creeks, who sided with us. As a matter of fact, the chief of the Red-Tailed Creeks at that period of time when Fort Moses was established had married an African queen, and the first Seminole War came when they kidnapped his wife.
Right.
And he rolled up on the plantation in Georgia. And so those brothers, the second largest Maroon community was in Virginia, in what was called back in the day the Dismal Swamps, where the African and the Asiatic and the Irish went into that swamp for themselves for over 250 years. Cracker wouldn't come up in there because they never won a battle. They come into the swamp and they died. And these people, this admixture is still living in the mountains of Tennessee, North Carolina, and Southern Virginia. So that's why history is important to learn.
Exactly.
Where I come from, the place is called today Burgess. It's straight across from it's just west of Murrells Inlet. And you know, Murrells Inlet is where all the pirates were, the black pirates and the white pirates. And so the runaways made that their home. Right. And this place today is still called the Freewood. Then they call it the Freewood Niggas. That's where my grandpa, Andrew Small, come out of. My other grandpa, Joe Alston, he was born in Africa.
Right.
And brought over here as an enslaved person, him and his little brother. Sold into slavery in Virginia. At age 16, he was almost 7 foot tall. And he escapes with his mama and his brother, walked back to South Carolina where they were originally got off the ship at the slave market in Georgetown, thinking they could find their way back home.
Right.
Of course, then they were offered free labor with the Alston family. So that's why we got the Smalls Alston. That's why you got to know your own history. We have a courageous history. Yes, we don't have nothing to be ashamed of.
No way in the world.
Take this journey sitting down. We've been fighting from day one.
All over the world.
All over the world, using any means necessary.
That's it.
You know, and so we're a great people because we are the original people.
That's right.
We're the original man and woman of the planet Earth. And we came with these shades before we came to America. Just look on the walls of Kemet.
Right.
We had brown, we had yellowish, we had deep brown, we had blue-black. We had all of these shades before we came to the Americas. So study history. Yes, we own America. We built this shit. We ain't giving it back to nobody.
We should. We
know by genetic attrition, he's dying. Most of Europe right now is at 0 birth. That means they got more people dying naturally than they're giving birth to naturally. America is almost in that same state. That's why they be hooking up trying to marry us. Use the gene pool, yeah.
Exactly. They looking for my black ass.
But it ain't on the down low no more. They're disappearing.
Right.
You know, and the elite know it. And they think through chemical and all this other stuff, keeping us in check and minimizing our growth. You can't minimize our growth. They said we were going to all die off that poison. They call, what's that disease thing they had going on? They were killing everybody on the machines.
Right. Yeah.
Africa suffered the least of the whole world.
And Haiti suffered the least too.
That's crazy. So they said, oh, we made a miscalculation. We thought we were going to kill them. We killed ourselves. You know, but we just need to study and let's make peace among ourselves. Stop fighting. And let me tell you something. Yes. I'm not afraid of nothing. I am the divine having the human experience.
That's right.
This body will disappear in a few years.
Exactly.
I've been blessed to have nice 80 years down here. It's a cool 80 years. You know what I'm saying? But even if I get to 90, I'm leaving this shell.
That's right.
It'll either be burnt or buried.
That's right.
But what lives in me is eternal.
That's right.
And what lives in me is a part of you, and you cannot disconnect from me.
That's right.
You can't disconnect from me. I am you. I love you.
That's right.
Because I know the divine in you is the same divine in me. And that's what love is.
That's right.
So when we discuss spirituality, we're going to try to break that down.
Right.
No, I'm not angry with my FBA brothers. I love you.
Love them too.
I was trying to explain something that somebody took out of context and took wrong. It would have been better if somebody had called me and said, Brother Small, what do you mean by this? But nobody did that.
Men supposed to call each other. That's what we learned from back in the day. Men supposed to call
each other. On the attack. And I talked to the brothers, but some of the brothers was very respectful.
Yes.
Even Brother Sincere and them, when they did the show, they criticized me and kicked my butt. And my other little son, he kicked my butt. I'm cool.
Yeah, I seen it.
But they were respectful.
Right.
You know?
Right.
But somebody was giving them false information. I never said, and I want my brothers and sisters to hear it, I never said FBA equals CIA. That's a lie that somebody made up.
That's right.
Out there to get you all riled up so they can make some ching, ching, ching on the internet. Well, I don't have an internet. What do you call the thing? I don't have I make no money from the internet.
You don't have a YouTube channel, right?
I got a YouTube channel.
Oh yeah, but you don't, right?
5 years, never used it.
Yeah, you said Unc West did it for you. Unc did it for you, brother. Unc did it for you.
I never use it. And all of those tapes you see of me on the internet, I never put one of them there. I don't get a penny from any of them. You know, so don't get confused and think I'm making money. No, I make my money the hard way. I earn it. I work hard for it. You know. And I got a beautiful queen who me and the children sacrificed to make sure she went to medical school, so we ain't gonna starve.
Right. And let me go to the one Immortal's trying again. Let me see if Immortal make it on. Immortal, can you hear me? Immortal, I don't know what's going on with your phone, sir. Immortal, you busy talking and typing. I'm not gonna do it again, Immortal. That's it. All right, we're done with that. Let's get ready to get out of here, Professor. Let me close out. Family, remember, get your tickets. If you want to come to the event on December the 13th, please come on out. And it's going to be a live stream. That's, of course, Linktree/King Simon, the Numerovator. I just posted it in the chat again. If you want to come, or if you only can make it for the live stream, come on out to the live stream. That's all we're going to do. We're going to make it happen. And it's happening at Nicholas, Brooklyn. That's Nicholas, Brooklyn. And you got to be over there. It is going to be at 1396 Fulton Street. That's 1396 Fulton Street. Right now, the early bird tickets, $30 is now gone. So it's $35 before the door price at $40. And if you even take a scan of this particular flyer and you bring it, take a snapshot of this particular flyer and show it at the door, I'll give you a $5 discount at the door, just to show you that I'm showing love. Any old way you can, come on out. Children are absolutely free from the ages of 0 to 17. I've done it for all of my events throughout New York and throughout different places. Always free, because I got this information when I was young. At 14, I started with this information. Even before that, through reggae music and Burning Spear and Jimmy Cliff, I was listening to them since I was young. Bob Marley and them. I was listening to Marvin Gaye when I was young. I was listening to all types, because they was bringing that to my Caribbean family. We was listening to the American music. We was listening to that. So through the Antilles radio station back in the day. And Antilles radio station spanned throughout America, throughout England, all over the place. It was an AM station back in those days. So I know we was listening to all kinds of music back in the days, and they try to mimic it and create their own music in the Caribbeans also. So, nobody, that's why I didn't understand why Busta Rhymes said what he said. People don't, get misinformation. Reggae, hip hop did not come from Jamaica. Did not come from Jamaica. Please stop that. And so we got to stop.
That's all right. I'm trying to say it came from South Carolina. So I understand I remember what Brother Onion used to play the snare drums, and Brother Jerome was spinning the record, but they only had one turntable. Exactly. So I'm saying they didn't have no bass back in those days. The snare drum was the bass. So where hip hop came from? It came from the mind of the African men and women,
right here,
responding to the stress and the condition politically and economically they found themselves under. That's how most music comes forward, as a rhythm out of the body of the oppressed.
Right.
And so there's one message I want to leave with my brothers and sisters.
Please,
brothers and sisters, whether you call yourself FBA, whether you call yourself ADOS, whether you call yourself African Americans, whether you call yourself Black Americans, whether you like some of our people who still call themselves colored American, believe it or not. And y'all all the same people, and I love each of you equally. Right. And you're not going to get me to fight you, because I ain't doing it.
That's right.
I'm going to love you. That's that. And I want to give you some instructions. What we should be fighting and using our energy to do is to do what Malcolm X says. Take control of the economics, the politics, and the culture where you live.
Yes.
And to do that, you got to get control of the land, the labor, and the resource where you live. I mean, buy up these abandoned buildings. Don't leave it sitting there abandoned when some white folks come by and start screaming gentrification. They were only able to gentrify because we had the money and we didn't buy. Okay. Buy those buildings. And once you control land, labor, and resources, we'll be able to provide food, clothing, shelter, and safety to our people. And then they won't depend on other people. Their loyalty will be to us. Food, clothing, and shelter, we've got to provide. Control economic, politics, and culture to do this. Get hold of the land, labor, and resources where you live. And that means you have to take over local politics. You can't say, I'm not going to be in politics, and the thing runs your life because you and somebody else's sovereign land. To get sovereign, control the things around your life that determine your destiny day in, day out. Land, labor, and resources, economic, politics, and culture. Control politics at the local level because all real politics is local. Master how to run people for office and run your people for those offices and bring the services, which isn't coming from the government. They take 40 to 45% of your money from your salary every day you work, right? As taxes to the government. Every time we go to the store, we pay taxes. That money is supposed to come back to help us in crises. That's why they took our money. And we let them act like it's their money. So land, labor, and resources, economic, politics, and culture, so you can provide food, clothing, and shelter. And you can't do that fighting each other. You can't do that disunited from each other. You do that by learning how to form alliances and partnerships around mutual interests, especially with those that look like you.
Yes, yes.
And you can say freedom or death and mean it.
And mean it. Thank you, Baba. Family, please support Baba James Smalls through Cash App. That's Dr. James Smalls 1926, and also through his PayPal, which is using the email csmalls1926@aol.com. Make sure you send it friend and family, because if you send it the other way, they're gonna take out taxes out of it or take money out of it. That's what they do. They always robbing us. They stop my own Cash App.
They tell us that our money is their money.
Exactly. Baba Smalls, thank you so very much.
Yes, sir, Brother King Simon. We want everybody to come out to the bookstore.
I can't wait.
You see, I always hang with my juju. See, I got Shango back there, Oya back there. I got Eshu up there by the door. And you see that mask up there in the corner? Let me see if I can point my hand towards it. This one right there.
Yes, sir.
That's an ancestral piece that my 6-year-old made 10 years ago. She could feel the spirit of the red, black, and green as a child.
Right.
And she made that ancestral mask. And above my head, that's Ezele Frida from the voodoo system, sitting up the thing that's sitting in front of the red, black, and green flag.
Right.
So, and these are just symbols to stimulate me to remember yesterday, so I can use today to build tomorrow. Because yesterday, today, and tomorrow is all the same time, same space. And we just change places, you know. But I'll see you at Nicholas Bookstore. Let's do it. Let's go out there, have some fun. Kafunya is going to be there.
Joshua, Sarah, and Felicia.
Sister Felicia.
Sister Felicia.
You told her the lady with the red lipstick.
That's right.
So we're going to have a good time just teaching one another, because even a question is a teaching tool.
Right.
It isn't just the person to answer the question. He only gets to answer that question because you posed the question.
Yes.
Bring something out. So let's enjoy ourselves. Let's stop fighting each other. It's not necessary. Let's figure out how to define the real enemy and fight them.
That's right.
And a football team, if I was going to play football, I would not go on the field with one brother or one sister. I got to have 11 dudes to meet that 11 dudes. You know what I'm saying? So we have to know what game we're playing and what we need to bring to the field.
Yes, sir. Thank you very much, Baba. Go and enjoy your food. Go enjoy your wife, man. Thank you so much for coming on. I appreciate you. Love you too.
Power.
That's it.
Know yourself.
Yes.
The greatest, truest freedom in the world is to know your identity. So don't be afraid or ashamed to identify yourself.
Thank you, Baba. This child and the rest of these people that's got my back, you know. So big up to all of them. So family, on that note, have a great day, afternoon, or evening. I said all the prayers. I said all I had to say is all right. This might be put in the community, might be put in my membership purposefully, because I said a lot, and y'all gonna have to pay for that. My professor My professor training me, Jay Knives. Jay Knives, no, because as an elder, he said we need to use weapons instead of our body. Yes. Yes, 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 yes. All right, so family, have a great day, afternoon, or evening. And remember, family, do remember, we're going to be at Baba Heru's thing this weekend. So don't come there in peace. Don't come there or you will be put out in pieces. Come in peace when we're celebrating Baba Heru Saturday and Sunday. We're celebrating Baba Heru Saturday and Sunday. And then we're going to celebrate our brother, Professor James Smalls. He celebrated 80 years in October. We're going to still be celebrating. And then, before that, the day before that, they're going to be doing a tribute, a benefit concert for Jamaica, UBS Arena, Jammins production and all of that. And then after that, then we go to this. And then after that, we're going to watch this online with myself and all these great people that's going to be speaking for Infinite, Ascended Infinite Goddess. And then we're going to be with Queen of Four at LIU, live and direct. All right, big up to Abundance Child. There she is. Only the Realest Feelers. Check it out on their YouTube channel right there. Make sure you get my books. This flyer was designed by Star from Star Report. Big up, he designed this banner for me. Big up to Star from Star Report. New Diamonds, big up to New Diamonds. Also, big up to my son, Green Studio NYC. Dr. Shakira Moore, she's back up in Pennsylvania. I understand she's back up in Pennsylvania. Make sure you support her. Holistica Palace. Big up to Nicholas Brooklyn. Big up to Nicholas Brooklyn. And big up to Lloyd-Strayhorn.com. All right. Make sure y'all show our elder some love. All right, family. I love you because I love me. All right. Take care. One love. Thank you again, Professor James Smalls, for coming on and showing your love.